Well, I think, that's what the Saturday and the ACC should look like. You got two really good basketball teams playing against each other, throwing blows and not giving up, not relenting. Miami is an elite offensive basketball team. They're at their best when they play fast. They make threes. They take care of the ball. They're just really hard to play. They're a little bit of a reflection, I think, probably how we play on offense, except they're even better in transition than we are going into the game. Like, they were scoring at 1.37 points per possession, some ridiculous number. I thought we did a pretty good job in transition. I have to go back and look. I know Matthew Cleveland got loose early for a three and maybe a dunk, but other than that, I thought we were pretty good. And here's what we told our players. What did I write down? Mismatches were not going to beat us. Open shots were. Understand that everybody on their team can bring the ball. So in other words, if one of those mismatched bigger guards gets the rebound and comes with it, Boopie's going to have to take him, and everybody else is going to have to match up. And so we weren't too worried about matchups in transition. We were just worried about not giving up open shots. And I thought that was big. I thought and then defensively, I thought we were pretty good because we decided they were going to score on our terms. What was that? What would that mean? Well, we're going to try to make them make tough twos as much as we could. They made some. Obviously, the offensive rebounds late hurt us, but we had 18 of them too. They had 12. Norman, he got some big ones, but Efton did a fabulous job of keeping balls alive, to keep possessions alive. And then I think we had really good guards, but we did not shoot the ball well from two, which is not typical of our team. And I thought what happened was we can get to the basket pretty much any time, but you have to make the right play and the right decision. And the decision today was to kick it out because they were running in there. And I thought we forced up too many tough shots where we could have kicked it out and got even more wide open shots. And that's probably why you saw us shoot more threes today, because really we were playing off dribble penetration. And that's what was going to be there. Okay, so I'm really proud of my team. I've challenged them before the game. I said, we got to keep taking steps. Miami's been where we want to be. They've done what we want to do. They're one of the best programs in our league. They've been to the Elite Eight and the Final Four, and we have to win games like this to get back to being where Wake Forest basketball wants to be, where we want to be. And so I'll give our team credit for that today.
Steve, I think if my play-by-play is correct, you didn't lead for the last 10 and a half minutes of regulation, but it was always tied. It was 4 at one point, but never more than that.
Yeah.
I know you talked about maturity on Tuesday night, the maturity of the team to be right there blow for blow.
Yeah, I think you see that, right? When they don't, one of the things that I think is really impressive about our team is they don't really get too up or down. Does that make sense? Their body language is pretty even keeled. You know what I mean? Like, we had some moments where, they could try to get away from us and we'd come back, then we'd get away, they'd come back. But that's just the way games are going to be at this level at this time of year. That's why conference basketball is, to me, the epitome of college basketball. We put all this emphasis on the non-conference, but to me it's about this right now and what we're doing and going into these environments. We had a great crowd, unbelievable environment. And so, I'm proud of our team. And then especially in overtime, because, the old adage is if you score first, you win, right? They scored twice. They got us down 5. They're up 5-0 in overtime. But we won an 8-0 run or something like that. And we just kept punching back and made a couple of really unselfish plays for wide open shots. And Hunter made a big three. Boopie made a big three. And like I said, Efton kept a lot of balls alive and made some free throws.
From the BC game to this game, situationally, it was similar.
Yeah.
Up 30 seconds. The shot selection looked similar, too, on that left side.
It was.
Was the play call the same, too?
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't know. I'm a lot of stuff going through my mind. I do know that he played it the right way by getting to 2 feet and coming to a stop, and the defense ran in. You kick it out to the wide open guy. Again, and Hunter hadn't shot it great the whole game. I mean, he's been playing fabulous, but he made the big one, right? And that's confidence in each other. Yeah, that's trust. So it's probably the same kind of scenario. I don't know if it was the same play or not. You'd have to ask Shea, he calls all the plays.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Efton Reed's play tonight. Only 2 points, but 7 big offensive rebounds. How big was his play despite battling foul trouble, too?
I thought he was the difference maker late, on the offensive glass. And then, he's pretty good in the drop. I thought he did a couple times. He didn't keep his head on the ball, or he maybe jumped up and tried to challenge those tough twos and leaving our guards to block out Omer, which is a really tough responsibility. We worked on that all week. He's just a big guy. I mean, he's a big dude, and he's a really great team player, and he's smart. And he says all the right things. He keeps everybody positive. And so I thought he played great. I thought Zach battled in there, too, as best that he could, man. He's a first-team All-ACC player. He's a really good player.
Coach, you were just a couple feet away from the three-pointer, but you have 4 points. What were you feeling there, not only to get the 4-point lead, but what you had in front of you, what they could do as well?
Well, I felt great because you just hope you're smart enough not to give up a 4-point play. And the hard part was that you don't want them to score too quick either. That's why I called the timeout, because I didn't want them to fire it up the court. And then we got to stop, and we couldn't get the rebound. I mean, that's ball game. That was disappointing because they missed. And then Omer got the rebound and scored, so it's now a 1-point game. But it felt good. And I was standing on the opposite corner when Andrew made the one at Boston College, and it was like, just kind of got a feeling those are going in, because they played it the right way. Sometimes when you don't play, the game don't reward you when you don't do things right. But that's playing the game the right way. So I felt good about it. Didn't want to give up a 4-point play. I was pretty confident we wouldn't, but I didn't want them to score quick either. And if we get the rebound, then it's ball game.
Steve, on those 2 corner threes, Andrew Carr hadn't scored the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Hunter
He struggled.
wasn't having the best second half
No.
of his career here. But those guys, kind of stepped in that moment and had the confidence, and your team had the confidence to get them the ball in those moments. What does that say about the players and guys who got them the ball?
I just think they really like each other, and they believe in each other's abilities. And so I don't think anybody really cares who does it as long as it gets done. And there's always really positive talk in the huddle. Cameron, even though I'm getting on him hard, I got on him a couple times. But, how did he start the game? Well, he was on a heater. It's just chemistry, and I think those guys, like you said, I'm pretty sure when they passed it to Hunter, he knew it was going. Was it Boopy that passed it, or was it Cam? I can't remember. Yeah, Cam, and I had gotten on Cam hard about because Cam can get there on anybody. He can get there on all 5 of you together. But he's got to make the right decision, and he's looking for a foul. He's not getting them. Was he getting fouled? We'll go back and look. But at some point, you got to come off the ball. He knows it, and he did. And he made the right play, and Hunter made a great play, and I'm happy for him.
Coach, comparing it to the BC game again, there was a lot of foul trouble early on.
Yeah.
And Miami took advantage of that. How do you keep that discipline or get discipline going?
Well, I don't think really that's discipline. I think it's just the way the game's being called. If you compare the game to last week's game here, that was tackle football. Okay? I mean, I said that one time. Like, this is a totally opposite referee game than what we had on last Saturday here. You saw it. It was about as physical as it can be. You have to adjust to the calls. I will say this. I was disappointed in the way we played offense in the first half because we got in a bonus quick. And then we never got very many free throws. They shot more free throws than we did. So that tells me probably we were settling a little bit too much on the perimeter. But, you got to be mindful. You got to play the way the game's being called. We got a couple tough calls. I thought Hunter got one tough, but, I have to go back and watch. I can't really tell when it's going that fast. So you don't want to be in foul trouble, but that's why you have depth, and that's why you have a bench. And so – Parker stepped up, made some shots. Marcus didn't play a lot, but he came in one play, dribbled in there and kicked it out. He probably kicked it out to Zach for the shot, if I remember right. Made the right play. Zach battled in there, and so we need to be mindful of that for sure.
I brought up earlier, 2 years ago you had Alondis Williams. Last year you had Tyree Appleby. But this year you've got both Boopy and Hunter. and then you combine them two, we're seeing a lot of magical things happen.
Yeah.
Is the difference having like the combination and the versatility? Where's all this coming from?
I think it's all just kind of different players, you know. I think I use this analogy because you know how much I love baseball, so get out your bingo card. And by the way, the other night at Boston, this is the first time I did a live interviews at Boston. It's already been Zoom. So I got into a baseball analogy, and I told him that my bucket list was to go watch Cape Cod League and then go to the Fenway because I'd never been to Fenway. Well, the beat writer for the Sox was there, so not only am I going, but I'm going to be on the field, and I will take advantage of that. And no, I'm not inviting any of you guys. What's the question?
About having a pair of
Yeah. So that's baseball. So you got a fastball, you got a slider, and you got a curveball. You know, Boopie's kind of that fastball. You know, Hunter's that slider, and Cam's swervy dervy. He's curvy. I don't know. You know, I just think could be. He's like a football, but he's like a tailback or fullback. Old wishbone, ride him in there. I think they just kind of complement each other. You know, they all kind of do different things, but they all are really good with the ball in their hands. They're not one-dimensional. Like, not one of them is like just catch and shoot. They can all bounce it, you know. And I hear you on Alondis, but we also had a first-round draft choice with them too. You know, Jake LaRavie was a pretty good player. I understand. I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's like playing them. I mean, you got Pack, you got Wilker Poplar didn't get a play, but, you know, Bensley, Joseph, Cleveland's a guard. Keyshawn George, where did he come from? My Lord, he's a handful. He's going to be a really good player. You know, they got a lot of that going on too, but it's nice. It's a nice problem to have for sure.
I'll throw a baseball expression at you. There's the saying that you never mess with a streak.
Yeah.
In baseball, you've won 9 in a row.
Yeah.
You superstitious at all?
Not on that. I've tried to mature over the years, and now I've spent my whole career in Tennessee walking out the same garage door for 5 years. I had 2 garage doors. I had to pick one. One time I had to put it down and go out through the other one. I quit doing that. Socks, the ties, stop it. You know, so no. But I'm aware of it. You know, we haven't really talked about. Really, truthfully, I don't even know. We've never talked about it in the locker room, like how many games we've won. I think you have to have a next game, next play mentality, you know, and so it's interesting that you bring that up because that's never come up now that you say that, and it won't. You know, they'll be able to enjoy this win tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have a light practice, and then we'll practice Monday, and we'll get on the plane and go to Tallahassee and get ready to play on Tuesday. And, you know, listen, it's a long grind, and so you just got to stay away from, you know, the other kind of streaks, you know, losing streaks. And so just keep stacking wins and see what happens.